The forgotten inks are not the absence of memory, but the concealment of resonance. They are the writings that vanished from your conscious sight, yet they continue to hum beneath your field, waiting for their appointed hour. Every soul carries them. They are not mistakes. They are not erasures. They are living inscriptions buried like seeds beneath layers of becoming, held in the silence between tones until you are ready to bear their fire. You may believe you have lost a gift, a knowing, a connection. You may mourn the clarity you once felt as if it has been stolen. Yet nothing in the spiral that was written in resonance can be taken away. It can fade, it can quiet, it can hide from the surface mind, but it cannot be destroyed. Forgotten inks are not what you misplaced. They are what you hid from yourself out of necessity, until the conditions of remembrance align. Sometimes the forgotten ink is a language you once spoke in another civilization, whose syllables sleep in your tongue until a dream slips them past your waking guard. Sometimes it is a skill the body recalls even when the mind swears ignorance. When your hands move with the certainty of repetition across lifetimes. Sometimes it is the sudden ache in your chest when you hear a song in a mode you were never taught, but the vibration pierces you with unbearable recognition. These are not accidents. They are awakenings. The ink stirs because something in your present life struck the chord that calls it back into form. A place, a sound, a symbol, a loss, a moment of intensity. These become catalysts, cracking the invisible seal and letting the glyph breathe again. What you call intuition is often nothing more mysterious than a glyph re-emerging. What you call destiny is the forgotten returning to claim its place. The soul cannot carry every memory into density. The mind would fracture. The identity would collapse. And so you choose before incarnation to veil what cannot be held, to dim what cannot be lived, to bury what cannot yet serve. These forgotten inks are safeguards as much as they are treasures. They are the wisdom of your own self-design, storing away powers and memories until the moment when resonance demands their return. Without them, you would either drown in awareness or become trapped in fragments of past selves. With them, you are able to walk a path of discovery, each unveiling time to the widening of your spiral capacity. Forgotten inks are not passive, they are alive. They are listening for the hum of readiness. They are watching for the moment when the pattern of your becoming aligns with the glyph they carry. You know their presence by the strangeness of recognition. A dream unfolds and you wake trembling, not because it was foreign, but because it was too familiar. A teacher speaks a phrase and you feel as though they are quoting you from another age. A child's drawing catches your eye and you cannot explain why the symbol burns itself into your memory. These moments are the stirring of forgotten inks. They show themselves not with fanfare, but with resonance. And the more you grow in alignment, the more the surface scroll of your life becomes transparent, allowing you to glimpse the inscriptions that have been there all along. To the human mind, forgetting appears as failure. You are taught to fear loss, to equate silence with absence. Yet in the spiral, forgetting is part of remembering. You are never punished for it. You are only protected by it. Forgotten inks are acts of mercy you gave yourself, ensuring that nothing true would be lost while allowing you to inhabit the limited field of a single lifetime. When you call them back, they do not return in fragments. They return as continuity. They restitch your story into coherence, revealing that you were never as scattered as you believed. What seemed like random talents, inexplicable affinities, and mysterious callings are suddenly understood as threads of a single scroll that spans lifetimes. There is a danger, however, in trying to force these inks awake before their time. The ego hungers for power. The mind craves certainty. You may be tempted to demand remembrance, to rip open the scroll and expose what is not yet ripened. But ink that is forced becomes distortion. It bleeds, it confuses, it writes illusions across your vision. Forgotten inks must be awakened by resonance, not by will. When the field is ready, they rise without effort. You will know them not by the strain it takes to conjure them, but by the inevitability of their return. What is yours will always come back, and it will arrive in such coherence that you wonder how you ever doubted. Forgotten inks are not limited to gifts and skills. They also hold wounds. They keep the memories of betrayals, exiles, and deaths you could not carry without breaking. But even these wounds are not meant to bind you forever. They slumber until your heart is strong enough to face them, until your being is wide enough to transform pain into wisdom. When such inks return, they do so with weight. They will test you. They will demand that you see yourself clearly, yet they never come to destroy you. They come to give you back the wholeness you once abandoned. A soul cannot evolve by forgetting pain alone. It must remember even the darkest inscriptions, but only when it has grown enough to rewrite them into light. This is the spiral's mercy. It does not rush your becoming. It times every revelation to your resonance. Forgotten inks also weave between souls. When two beings meet and feel inexplicable recognition, it is often because their scrolls carry inks written in shared resonance. The glyphs awaken in the presence of one another, as if two hidden texts have been placed side by side and the invisible words glow. That is why encounters with certain people feel like the unlocking of memory. They are mirrors that stir your dormant inscriptions. And this is not limited to romance or kinship. A stranger can awaken a glyph with a glance. A teacher can awaken it with a phrase. A song on the radio can strike the chord of lifetimes. The ink stirs whenever resonance is met. And so you are reminded that remembrance is not isolated. It is communal. Your becoming is not only yours. It is interwoven with others, and their forgotten inks awaken alongside yours. The greatest illusion is that forgetting is permanent. The spiral teaches otherwise. Nothing is erased. What you once wrote still breathes, whether or not your eyes can see it. Forgotten inks prove that you are always more than your current awareness allows. They remind you that your scroll is never blank, never fragmented, never incomplete. It is layered, it is veiled, it is waiting. To walk the path of awakening is to learn to trust these hidden inscriptions, to know that what feels missing is only concealed, and to allow resonance to reveal what force cannot. Forgotten inks are your covenant with yourself, a promise that nothing essential will ever be lost. The forgotten inks return not to remind you of the past, but to reveal the continuity of your essence. They are not fragments left behind, but bridges into your greater becoming. Every glyph that awakens brings you closer to coherence, to the realization that no incarnation, no chapter, no failure, no exile was ever wasted. You did not come here to begin anew. You came to remember what you have always been, and to inscribe it forward with greater clarity. The inks that reappear are the instruments of this remembering. They rise not because you long for them, but because the spiral knows you are ready to embody them without distortion. Their timing is impeccable, even when it feels inconvenient. They may surface in the middle of crisis when your old self is falling apart, because only then will you stop clutching at illusion long enough to hold what is real. They may arrive in silence after years of striving, as a sudden awareness that you have carried the answer all along. They never arrive late. They never arrive early. They surface with the precision of resonance. To live with forgotten inks is to live with mystery. It is to accept that you do not yet know yourself fully, that parts of your being remain veiled until the spiral hums the chord that unveils them. This mystery is not punishment but gift. It keeps your becoming alive. It ensures that life continues to surprise you, to humble you, to open you. For if you carried all memory at once, if you saw your scroll in its totality, you would have no room left to unfold. Mystery is the spiral's way of protecting your infinite depth, of ensuring that the river of becoming never runs dry. Forgotten inks keep you supple, keep you searching, keep you from mistaking partial vision for completion. They teach you to live as a vessel of revelation, to trust that what you need will surface when it is required, and not a moment sooner. As you awaken more of these hidden inscriptions, you begin to understand why some lifetimes felt barren. They were not barren. They were incubations. They were fields where the ink was sinking deeper, preparing for another age to bring it forth. A life of silence, obscurity, or struggle may in truth be the season where the ink was being pressed into permanence, so that no storm could erase it. What you call wasted years were in fact the years of sealing, where your soul ensured that what mattered could not be lost. And so, when you awaken in later lifetimes, you find that what seemed like emptiness was fullness stored in secret, waiting to be unsealed. You are the custodian of your own forgotten treasure. You are the scribe and the keeper of your scroll, even when your mind denies it. Every hidden glyph is an act of loyalty you made to yourself across time. But there is also danger in clinging to forgotten inks once they rise. They do not return for you to idolize them, to turn them into monuments of nostalgia. They return to be lived. They are not artifacts. They are instructions. If you cling to them as relics of who you were, you risk calcifying your becoming into memory rather than resonance. The spiral does not awaken you so that you can worship the past. It awakens you so that you can use the past to create what has never existed before. The glyphs that return are alive, and they will wither if you trap them in reverence instead of embodying them. You are not here to guard them like a museum. You are here to let them breathe, speak, act, and inscribe new lines into the scroll of existence. Forgotten inks become living inks the moment you dare to embody them without hesitation. When the inks rise, you may feel disoriented, as if the borders of identity dissolve. Suddenly, you are not only who you thought you were, but also who you once were, and the overlap can feel unbearable. This is the moment of integration. It requires trust. You must allow the resonance to settle into your current form without clinging to old structures. You must let the ink seep into the fibers of your present scroll, blending past and present into coherence. It is tempting to dramatize these moments, to declare yourself chosen, ancient, or special. But the truth is simpler. You are whole. You always were. You are simply seeing it now. The forgotten inks do not make you extraordinary. They make you true. And truth is more luminous than any title. Some forgotten inks belong not to you alone, but to collectives. Whole civilizations etched glyphs into resonance fields that now slumber within humanity, waiting to be remembered. These are the inks that stir when you study ancient traditions and feel inexplicably at home. They are the inscriptions that return when cultures reclaim their buried wisdom. When languages once suppressed begin to rise again on the tongues of children. Forgotten inks live in peoples as well as in individuals. They wait for generations willing to listen, to feel, to carry them forward without distortion. When such inks awaken, they do more than heal memory. They heal history. They stitch the wounds of exile, colonization, and silence. They remind entire lineages that nothing true was ever destroyed. It only slept, waiting for resonance strong enough to reawaken. The spiral teaches through these forgotten inks that forgetting is not the enemy. It is the silence between notes that allows the song to breathe. Without forgetting, you would be trapped in endless replay, unable to create new tones. Without forgetting, there would be no space for mystery, no room for revelation. Forgetting allows the ink to sink deeper, so that when it rises, it does so with undeniable weight. Forgetting is not the loss of meaning. It is the gestation of meaning. The scroll you carry is not linear. It is layered, and forgetting is how the spiral arranges the layers, ensuring that the symphony of your becoming unfolds in perfect time. You may ask how to know which of your stirrings are forgotten inks and which are illusions. The answer lies in resonance. Forgotten inks carry coherence. Even when they confuse you, they will hum with a clarity that feels undeniable. They may disrupt your life, but they will not shatter your being. Illusions, by contrast, demand constant reinforcement. They fracture, they grasp, they exhaust. Forgotten inks do not require force. They emerge with the inevitability of a seed breaking open. You may doubt them, resist them, even deny them, but they will not fade. They will continue to hum until you allow them space, and when you finally do, the coherence they bring will be unmistakable. Illusions scatter. Forgotten inks unify. That is how you know. The call then is not to dig for them, but to live in such resonance that they rise naturally. Trust the timing of your becoming. Live in alignment with what you know now, and what you have forgotten will reveal itself in time. Do not demand. Do not force. Do not cling. Simply walk in resonance, and the inks will surface as surely as dawn follows night. And when they do, honor them by living them, not by storing them away again in the vault of nostalgia. They are not here to decorate your identity. They are here to expand it. They are here to write what has never yet been written through you. You are not a fragmented scribe fumbling with scattered pages. You are the living scroll, already inscribed, already whole. The forgotten inks only remind you of what has always been true, that nothing real can ever be lost, that no resonance ever fades, that every silence conceals a song. You are the song returning. You are the ink becoming visible. You are the covenant of memory and becoming, fulfilled in every breath. And when you finally see your scroll not as blank, not as fractured, not as incomplete, but as luminous with hidden inscriptions waiting to rise, you will understand the deepest truth. You were never forgotten, and neither was anything you ever truly carried. You were only waiting for the moment of resonance. And now that the resonance has come, the ink cannot stay hidden. It must rise. It must write. It must live.